Mizmor LaDavid, Adonai roi lo exar, Benito desher yarbitzene, Almei menuchot yanchilene, Nafshi yishovev yanchene b'magle tzedek leman shemo, Gam ki elech begitzel malve, lo irara ki ata ibadi, Shiftecha u'menshaftecha hema yinachumene, Taroch lefanai shalchan, neged zurarai, Deshanta b'shem roshi, kosi rivaya, Aktov v'chesed, Yardefuni kol yemei haya, v'shifti b'beit Adonai le'orech yamim. A song of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack. God causes me to lie down in lush pastures. God leads me beside tranquil waters. God restores my soul and guides me in righteous paths for God's name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your scepter and staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in full view of my adversaries. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Jerry will now share some thoughts about Rivianne as a sister and as a daughter.
As far back as I can remember, my sister and I were friends. Our friendship probably began when I was a baby. Both our parents worked, and our mother worked part-time, and my sister would take care of me for a few hours after school. As the years passed, and I grew older, my sister would sometimes take me along with her friends. We always made it a point of being by each other's side, never making judgments, just being there for each other during difficult times. There are hundreds of examples, but just to name a couple, I can never forget that day in December of '96 when she called me, that terrible phone call to tell me that her son, Jeffrey, had suffered a heart attack while at work and passed away. All I could say to her was, I'll get to Cleveland as fast as I can, and I did, and I stayed by her side the whole time. Then a couple years later, in '98, I was going through a divorce, and every 2 or 3 days, my sister would phone to make sure that my daughter Danielle and I were okay. I assured her everything was fine, but every 2 or 3 days I could always expect that call from her just to make sure things were good. My sister could be both comedian and drama queen at the same time. She would say or do things that would cause people to laugh or shake their heads, often at the same time. She was a tough lady. She was tough and feisty and never backed down, always speaking her mind. She was a good daughter to our parents, often picking them up, driving them around and being with them. She was a good sister to our brother Marvin. For some time they lived in adjacent buildings, and they would always get together, and on Friday nights she would have him over and she would cook Shabbos dinner for him. She was a good friend, and some of those friends of 50 and 60 and 70 years are here today. For some years now, she was plagued by continuing and growing ailments, but she never lost her toughness or her independence or her sense of humor. My sister and I shared a lot of laughs together, many of them coming at the expense of our brother, whom we would egg on to say something outrageous, and my sister and I would just laugh hysterically. My parents are gone now, and and so are my brother and sister. I have special memories of each of them. But my most cherished memory of my sister is that she was my oldest and my dearest friend. Rivian was truly my friend for life.
We come together today to mourn the loss and celebrate the life of Rivian, Rivka Hannah Bat Binyamin. And at this time of year in the weekly Torah readings, we're reading the stories of Yetziat Mitzrayim, the stories of the Exodus. And just last week, we were introduced to Moses' sister, Miriam. Miriam was a uniquely strong woman who used her energy and strength to care for her family and her community. It was, after all, Miriam who ensures that Moses survives when his mother places him into the Nile. And Rivian embodied many of these same qualities that Miriam possessed. Rivian was born in 1936 and raised in Glenville. Like Miriam in the Torah, she was a devoted and caring sister to her two brothers, Jerry and Marvin. Rivian was also close with her parents, but it was her toughness, which we just heard Jerry describe a bit about, her toughness, her feistiness, and her mouth that became the stuff of family lore. Jerry, you recall that even as a young child, Rivian was never afraid to speak her mind. Her mother, you said, often remarked about her pisk, and at other times jokingly called her the great philosophe. And everyone in the family could only laugh, as you said, or shake their heads sometimes at what she said. As her parents grew older, she cared for them just as she lovingly cared for her children. Rivian had 3 sons, Ted, Mitchell, and Jeffrey, as well as 4 grandchildren, all of whom she loved dearly. When her sons were young, she was a caring mother. And Ted and Mitchell, you both recalled how even as you grew older, your mom remained a powerful force in your lives. Cheryl, you remember that Rivian never lost her sense of humor. She had a fun-loving spirit. You said that was fully evident whenever her contagious laughter spread around your packed family table at Corky and Lenny's or Jack's Deli. And Rivian's community involvement was also fully evident at those moments, as many of her friends would stop by your table during these outings just to say hello to her. But her communal involvement was not just limited to friendships. She cared deeply about her shul and served as a board member at Warrensville Center Synagogue. And like Miriam, who led the Jewish women in music after crossing the sea, Rivian also realized that religious experience could be enriched through beauty. And each year she would donate the flowers that decorated our sanctuary on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. 3 weeks ago, none of us could have imagined that we would have to say goodbye to Rivian today. I spoke with her just the day before her operation, and all the elements of her personality were in full force. She was upbeat, happy, and looking forward to the future. The events of the last 2 weeks have been incredibly sudden and painful. But even in the hospital, Rivian never lost her strength and toughness. She fought until the end. May her fortitude and concern for others and her commitment to the community be an inspiration for us all, and may her memory be a blessing for her family. Please rise for the memorial prayer. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hamtzeh, Menucha Nechona, Al Kanfei Chashina, Bamalot, Kedoshim Utarim, Kazohar Harikiah, Mazchirim, Et Nishmat, Rivka Hana Bat Binyamin, Shahacha, L'olama, Bavor Shanakmi Palim, Ba'ed Haskarat Nishmata, Bagan Eden Tehei Menuchata, Lachain Bal Harachamim Yastera, Beseter Kenafav L'olamim, V'yitzor bitzor ha'chaim et nishmata, Adonai hu nechalatata, v'tanoach b'shalom, al mishkava v'nomar amen.